Now, I'm sensitive to the fact for the Indianapolis Colts organization that when you lose a guy like Andrew Luck unexpectedly a few years ago, that sucks. And you just don't replace guys like that easily or sometimes at all. Quarterbacks like that don't grow on trees. It's absolutely true. It sucks when you lose into franchise level, potentially elite level quarterback so early in his career. It's in part an organizational failure that put him in that spot that said, I don't really want to do this anymore. But here's the thing. That's happened. And now you got to figure out the path forward. At what point in time is this Colts organization going to stop trying to piecemeal this damn quarterback situation? Like you bring in Phillip Rivers in 2020, that's nice. You get to the playoffs, and then you're bounced. And then what? Phillip Rivers retires. So instead of saying, hey, maybe we'll try to invest in a young quarterback in the 2021 draft because that's the right thing to do, we're going to go take Carson Wentz off of Philly's hands and fix their problem for him because Chris Ballard is a moron when it comes to quarterback position. Holy shit. They gave up multiple premium picks ultimately to bring in a Carson Wentz. So much for that one, huh? Lasted all of one season. Now we could say to the Colts' credit, they got rid of him after one season and found another team desperate and dumb enough to give up multiple day 2 picks in order to bring Carson Wentz into the fold. Commander Carson reporting for duty! But holy shit, just because you tried to mitigate your loss and your mistake after one season doesn't take away that the original mistake happened. And when do you stop holding Chris Ballard up on a pedestal? When do Colts fans stop doing that? When do non-Colts fans stop doing that? Because when I look at this dude, there is a lot of fucking mid here. He's a whopping 41-40 as general manager. Right? 41-40. What's so special about that? 1 divisional title in 5 years as GM. 2 playoff appearances in 5 years as GM. This piecemeal approach to the quarterback position post-Luck has been a disaster. Or largely unsuccessful. He traded a 3rd-round pick and a 1st-round pick for 1 season of mediocre Carson Wentz. Like, I mean, Jesus Christ. That is a mediocre resume. And maybe some of it is because I'm surrounded by a lot of meathead Bears fans on Twitter that still hold Chris Ballard up on this pedestal. Like, I mean, he's just a less handsome Ryan Pace. The fuck is the difference here? I mean, seriously, what the fuck is the difference? And you could say, well, he's constructed a better team and a better roster. Has he really, though? Like, drafting Quentin Nelson 6th overall in 2018. Was that really that genius? I mean, he pulled the trigger, made the right decision, but you know what I mean? Trading a 1st-round pick for DeForest Buckner. I mean, when you look at it, drafting a Paris Campbell in the 2nd round, where you could have earlier in that round, too, a couple years ago, taken a guy like a DK Metcalf or a Deebo Samuel. I mean, when you start to look at the resume of Chris Ballard, you can poke a lot of fucking holes in it. Just say it. Maybe it's time to stop putting him on a pedestal and actually put him on the hot seat where he belongs. Now, in terms of this 2021 Colts season, they were 3-5 through the end of October, which kind of sunk them. And I think even in my preview video before the season started for this team, I talked about how, it was going to be rough at the start. Their schedule was brutally tough. And if they could just kind of tread water enough to get later on in the year when the schedule got easier, they'd be in a good spot. Well, they struggled the first half of the season. Jonathan Taylor was a beast, played at almost an MVP level this year. Credit to him. But all the Colts had to do in Week 18 was beat the worst team in the league, the Jacksonville Jaguars. A team that was so bad in 2021, they had already fired their head coach that they paid big money to bring in less than a full season in. A team that was so bad that even if they won that game in Week 18, was still going to have and hold the number 1 overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. That's the situation we're talking about, facing a rookie quarterback that had been anything other than stellar And what did the Colts go out and do? Their offense and their defense absolutely lays a fucking egg in Week 18 against the Jags. They lost 26-11, and it wasn't that close, folks, believe me. You want to talk about a team getting pantsed. You want to talk about a team being thoroughly, fully, completely unprepared. Win and you're in. It's that simple. Like, this is one of the worst, most egregious losses you've seen in the NFL in a decade. And that is not hyperbole or exaggeration, sensationalism. That is fact. How the fuck you lose to the Jags the last week of the year with an interim head coach, a rookie quarterback who's scuffling, a terrible offense, a terrible defense, and you not only lost to him, you got your shit rocked. You got it pushed in by him. But Carson Wentz alone was the only problem, right? Oh, God. But they did trade him away. Got the Washington Commanders, take him off their hands, so they're getting a third-round pick in 2022 and a third or second-round pick in 2023, depending upon what percentage of snaps he starts for Washington. So the Colts are certainly hoping, hey, let's hope he's mid, but just mid enough to where he can stay in the lineup all year, so we'll get that second-round pick and recoup some of our losses. Yeah. You know, you also look at this team and you say, okay, so now you have even bigger questions at the quarterback position. What the fuck are you going to do? You know, a natural thought might be, hey, if Aaron Rodgers is going to be in Green Bay a long time, maybe go offer up a second-round pick to go get a Jordan Love and give him a shot here. Because you clearly don't want to invest in the draft in a quarterback, and combine that, it doesn't feel like this draft class is the best at the quarterback position. Got to do something. This is a team now that has over $70 million in cap space. And you can say, well, that's great, but if you always have a ton of cap space, that's not always great. That means that you don't have enough on your roster, which is why, in part, the Colts missed the playoffs. You got some free agents, Eric Fisher, T.Y. Hilton, Glowinski, Mo Alley Cox, Marlon Mack. You know, you probably want to bring back T.Y. Hilton, maybe, but you could upgrade him. I know he's been there for a decade, so there's some loyalty there. Eric Fisher, like, do you want to let him go? You know, that offensive line wasn't as great as you would have expected from the Colts in 2021 either. Like, Quentin Nelson had a bit of a down year. Like, wasn't the best you've seen him play. But when you look at this team, like, they got to figure out what they're doing at the quarterback position. That's priority one. You got to figure out what the hell you're doing at the quarterback position. And you've got to build up this offense around whatever quarterback you end up landing on. You know, you have Jonathan Taylor. He's a stud. That's a nice start. But you have needs all over the place in the skill positions on offense. You need multiple wide receivers. You could stand and upgrade at tight end. You know, defense, obviously, if you're giving up 26 points to the Jaguars the last week of the year with the playoffs on the line, you got some fucking issues there too. And now, never mind the fact that your defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus, has gone to Chicago to become their head coach. But the only thing that matters for this Colts team this offseason is finding that long-term answer at quarterback. How many times are you going to piecemeal it? If you piecemeal it again, like, why should Chris Ballard still have a job? Should be pressure on him. Should be a hot seat for both him and Frank Reich in 2022. It should be. It absolutely should be. Whether it's a Jordan Love or somebody else, got to go find a guy that you can give some time and see if he can develop and become that dude. Because you're just playing around and wasting fucking time until you do that.